Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Georgia's Lanier Raceplex. The dirt has been laid down once again on this famed third mile down here in Lanier, Georgia, the Lanier Raceplex for round number 5 of the All-Star Racing Series presented by Autocraft Paint and Body Works as they bring you tonight's racing action for 50 laps of racing here tonight as we take a look at the information for tonight's racing events. Like I said, 1/3 of a mile action-packed little bull ring here in Lanier, one of the best racetracks that you're going to see these guys on all season long, and it is right here in Braselton, Georgia. Right now, 89 degrees, 2% humidity, partly cloudy, and a very, very strong wind. You can see the flags out straight there for a moment as they are there. Last week, we were up at the Lima Land Raceway, and it was Keith Hackney picking up the win, becoming the 4th different driver of the season. Justin Holt will come home second, and Jacob Lassiter rounded out your top 3 1 week ago. Who's it going to be this week? We are unsure, but we can tell you that we are going to find out. And how do we find out here tonight? We are going to find out virtue of 2 rounds of qualifying, which is a very unique format here for the All-Star Racing Series. We're going to have 2 rounds of qualifying. First round, everybody's going out there racing for position based on how they drew when they come through the pit gate here tonight for the All-Star Racing Series presented by Autocraft Paint and Body Works. Then after round number 1 is done, we're going to go into a second round of qualifying with more points on the line. So you really want to finish well in heat race number 1. They get a good starting spot in heat race number 2. If you don't, well, that's all right. You can race your way up to the front and then get a good starting spot for tonight's 50-lap main event here tonight as we look from high above with the Autocraft Paint and Body Works. There is the racing session has come to a close. Let's take a look at the point standings coming in here tonight. And before we go racing, James Braswell, the 18 junior, is on top of the point standings. He has been very fast as of late. Looks to continue that momentum right here to Lanier. Jacob Lassiter just a few points off the backside, make it a good 41 points behind, but that can be easily made up here tonight. John Darby sits second in points, third in points. Justin Holt and Tyler Carter rounding out your top 5 in your current point standings. Round number 1, well, since it was a random draw, this will be worth 20 points for the victor in heat races in round number 1. After that, round number 2 will have 30 points on the line. And then if you can win it all here tonight for the All-Star Racing Series, you get 100 points. And 2 weeks ago at the Volusia Speedway, well, that James Braswell, car number 18 junior, he swept the night, won both heat races and the feature event, and that can catapult you up the standings. Quite interesting here with this format that Blake Brown and crew have put together for a very, very unique racing. You see it looking down from the starter, from the flag here, just how wide this track is going to be. You see them running all the way up by the wall. They're going to be right down scraping the paint off the inside wall as well as we go through this event here tonight. Practice should be wrapping up in just a few moments time, but it is going to be a good one. We see everybody working the outside of the racetrack, and these late models are put on one heck of a show here tonight for Lanier. We want to welcome you all in here once again. My name is Upstate Al, and I'm proud to bring you all the racing action for the All-Star Racing Series here presented by Autocraft Paint and Body Works here tonight at Lanier. So the track really starting to come in quite well here tonight. We're going to see a lot of great action. But before we get action, we got a bunch of people that we need to thank for what they do for this series. And while we have a moment, we will do that for the All-Star Racing Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. It is brought to you by Autocraft Paint and Body Works. Full service auto collision shop located in Brooklyn, Arkansas. For more information, if you need to get your car back in tip-top shape, it is autocraftnea.com. ABR Setup Shop, a full-service setup shop, weekly official setups, custom individual setups, and individual coaching by the crew over at ABR Setup Shop. You can find out more information by heading on over to abrsetupshop.com. JDM Designs, one of the best painters in the iRacing service. If you are in the need for paint to get your cars looking as good as these cars do here tonight at Lanier, you have to look JDM Designs up. FEGPZ, you in the market for a new computer? Well, they can help you with that, and they'll get you lined up, ready to go. It's FEGPC.net. Sim Motion, everything sim related you need for a rig. Set up anything you need to get going in iRacing. It is us.sim-motion.com. And Inside Sim Racing TV. For more information, go to www.isrtv.com. Well, just like that, we are ready to go racing with Heat Race action number 1 here tonight as they get lined up on the grid. This is your starting lineup here tonight. Starting on the pole, car number 69. He picked up the win 1 week ago. The driver out of Calhoun, Georgia, in the House of Speed. Kilgore's Consulting, Renegade Race Fuels, Custom Cabinets by Keith. Car number 69K, it is Keith Hackney. Pardon me. Starting on the outside of him, out of Drummond's, Tennessee, in the hoods up Rocket JDM Designs. Car number 00, this is John Darby. James Braswell in the Braswell Trucking 18 Junior slated to start third. Blake Brown in the Hoods Up Motorsports entry going to start fourth. Justin Holt and James Ferguson in row number 3. And shotgun on the field, Jacob Lassiter and the number 1 of Thomas Vickers. All right, got the dust out of the throat. Everybody, hope you are strapped in. Braswell up on the front row. Heat Race number 1 coming at you. Green flag is up, and we are live. 8 laps in distance. Braswell going to win the drag race on the turn number 1. Here comes Darby on the outside with that beautifully painted, brand new paint job on that number 00. He's going to swing it down to the inside. Contact a little bit deeper in the field. Everybody keeping it pointed in the right direction. We stay green so far. Darby runs to the number 2 spot, but he's got Justin Holt that's hot to trot right there behind him. He'll work the middle of the raceway. He comes off of turn number 2. We'll already have 2 laps in the books as now they work through turns 1 and 2. 3 different lines as they work there as we go with our ABR setup shop. Drone cam as they work down the front stretch. Click off on our lap. You can see them work in the middle of the racetrack. John Darby runs there in that number 2 spot as they work down the back stretch. Keith Hackney starting to work his way up towards the front. He's working the bottom side of the racetrack in that 69K. They work down the front stretch. He's working underneath the 51 of Blaster. Both those drivers having to start deep as Hackney had to start tail of the field for Heat Race number 1. He was slated to start on the pole. Meanwhile, up at the front row, it is still Braswell showing the way, but if we look out the back, the iRacing Flea Market onboard camera, you see how close that number 00 is on the number 18. They almost touched that time of turn with 2 laps to go. An ABR setup shop. Heat Race number 1. Darby with a bid down to the inside. Off of turn number 4 they come. The white silk will fly. Final trip around the speedway. Darby down low. Can he make a move on Braswell? Braswell works the middle of the racetrack. He'll protect to the middle in turn 3. Darby down low. Off of turn number 4. Who can get the power down? Braswell will win Heat Race number 1. Darby in second. Holt will cross the line in third. Vickers, 4th, Hackney, 5th, Lassiter, Brown, and Ferguson will round out Heat Race number 1. And just like that, the action quick and fierce here tonight as we will head to heat race number 2. And this is your starting lineup here tonight for heat race number 2. And this is your starting grid. Starting on the pole, car number 23, the driver out of Conway, Arkansas, the Noel Industries TCH Truck Auto Repair 913 Motorsports, the Hood Up Motorsports driver. This is Matt George. Starting to his outside, car number 6 out of Richland, Missouri, in the Penske Shocks JHR Hood Motorsports new driver, the number 6. This is Jeff Helton. Tyler Carter in car number 20 will roll off in spot number 3. Outside of him will be the Team DTJ. Car number 37, this is Brandon Marlowe. Starting 5th on the grid in car number 117, this is Jeremy Prey in car number 117. Kyle Vandergriff going to start 6th in car number 21. Watch that driver. He's been fast the last few weeks as well. And shotgun on the field will be car number 38. That is Larry Townsend. That is your 7-car field for heat race number 2, presented by JDM Designs. I want to thank everybody for tuning on in here tonight as we get ready to go with heat race number 2. Pace truck down and away. Green flag is up. George will mash the gas, and we are underway. Tyler Carter with a nice run to the inside down here in the turn number 1. He'll slide it through the middle. Here comes Marlowe, 3 wide underneath the 6 of Helton. Helton back to that 4th spot after starting on the outside of the front row. Townsend will stab the brakes to stay off the inside of the 6 of Helton. With lap number 1 going to George. George out in the front of this one has a half a second lead over the 20 of Carter. They work down the back stretch. Trouble in the back of the field there. We saw it live. Trouble in the back. Jeremy Prey not involved, but Jeff Helton was in car number 6. Let's take a look and see what happens to bring out our first yellow flag of the evening, as it was big. I believe Brandon Marlowe also involved in car number 37. He is down on pit road with his Milner Designs, car number 37. Let's take a look and see what happened to bring out this first yellow flag of the evening. See Helton working the outside of the racetrack down here in the turn number 1. Oh, Marlowe gets a little bit of a hip check from Prey, and Helton nowhere to go. Just an innocent bystander, and he sits there in front of the MD Enterprises General Contracting paint. Let's go and see here what happened with Marlowe. You see him working on the outside of the 117 of Prey into the corner. Oh, a little bit of that nasty net code there. You saw where there was gap between the cars, and that on the iRacing, if you're new to the service, or new to iRacing here for Marlowe. Let's take a look at Marlowe here one last time. We'll go from the drone cam. You see there's a gap between there, how that car just snaps. What it is the sim thinks there's going to be contact. And when that thinks there's going to be contact, well, it sends the cars for a wrap. But we're back racing. Ben here in heat race number 2 just went back, green flag. And it is George still out in front. But here comes Larry Townsend. Townsend on the move in the car from the 7th spot to 2nd. Townsend came to play tonight. He's got Tyler Carter working the outside with the Braswell trucking entry, car number 20. He works the outside of the speedway, but Larry Townsend digging down low, down across the stripe with 3 laps to go. George, can he hold on to pick up the heat race win? Townsend runs there in spot number 2. He'll dig it down low one more time in through turns 1 and 2. Good. George going to hit the outside wall, contact, and that allows the 21 of Vandergriff to 2nd. 2 laps to go as they work off turn number 2 down the back stretch. New race leaders, Larry Townsend, 7th to 1st in 8 laps here in heat race number 1. White flag will fly for the 38 of Townsend. The Rocket setup shop, car number 38 workings down the back stretch. Final trip in the turn number 3. Off of turn number 4 they will come. And the checker flag will go. Townsend will pick up the win. 2nd will go to Vandergriff, Marlowe, Prey, Carter, Helton, and Matt George will round out your order there for our 2nd heat race. And just like that, we will be moving into heat race number 3. First round of qualifying in the books. So now we will go into our second round, and starting on the pole will be car number 18 junior. That is James Braswell Jr. And car number 18 outside of him will be car number 21. We just saw him finish in the runner-up spot in heat race number 2. And it'll be Kyle Vandergriff. Thomas Vickers will make up row number 2 with Tyler Carter in spot number 4. And shotgun on the field, car number 28. That is the driver out of, well, Paragould. I apologize. I think it's Paragould, Arkansas. The Autocraft Paint and Bodyworks Sim Motion Man Motorsports. Gary Beard Trucking. Hoods Up Motorsports driver. That is the number 28 of Blake Brown. So 5 cars getting ready to do battle here for heat race number 2. Or heat race number 3, excuse me. First heat race of round number 2. Gets a little confusing up there. The pace truck will go by the field will get the 1 to go sign. So teammates with match and paint jobs up on the front row. Braswell truck and OH Hendrick Racing sheet metal. Car number 18. Gonna lay them to the green. 3 of their team drivers in this one. The 18, the 21, and the 20 are all team drivers. Green flag is up, green is out, and we are underway with ABR Setup Shop heat race number 3. Number 20 at Carter going to jump out to the race lead. And the Vickers down to the inside. Sutton's up with the 1 car. He'll get it tucked away, but up front it is Braswell showing away. He'll lead lap number 1 in these 12 lap affairs. Kyle Vandergriff working to the bottom of the racetrack. He's trying to find the moisture down low, but it will be Vandergriff. There is now Thomas Vickers. He'll go to battle underneath the 20 of Carter. Carter will smack the outside retaining wall and fall back to the 4th spot. Blake Brown ripping the lip as well off of turn number 2. He's trying to find some grip up there. Track really starting to slick off as we take a look with a drone cam presented by ABR Setup Shop. See how just slick it is on entry. These drivers are going to have to really watch their throttle input, really work on their setups here as Braswell still shows the way off of turn number 4. At the line, the 21 of Vandergriff starting to find something. He goes a little bit high, tries to cut it down low. Can he make a move on to your current points leader of the All-Star Racing Series? Here, the throttle work of your race leader right now, the 18 of Braswell. That's how they work a little bit back here. The 18 or the 20 of Carter and the number 28 of Brown are doing battle, trying to get around each other. Is now Vickers starting to close in. That number 1 starting to close in on your duo up front. Braswell has scooted away now half a second. Is now Vandergriff really trying to throw it in there, but lose a little bit, about 4 car lengths back behind your race leader. Vandergriff will go to the outside of the racetrack. He knows that Vickers is coming as he's trying to find something. These drivers can go back after this heat race and make some adjustments to these setups as the night goes on. Braswell doing a good job holding it down to the inside. This time by the popsicle sticks will be up. It'll be 2 laps to go. 2 to go for Braswell. Braswell, one of 4 drivers trying to become the first repeat winner of the season. Could tonight be the night that we get a repeat winner for the first time? White flag is out, the final trip around the speedway. Braswell hugging the inside as they'll work down the back stretch. See him getting down in the moisture. Braswell doing a good job, and off of turn number 4, checkered flag is up. Braswell will pick up the win. Second will go to Vandergriff. Carter third, or Carter will come home in 4th. Vickers is 3rd, and Blake Brown will round out your field in that 5th position. So just like that, heat race number 3 is done. We'll head to heat race number 4. 12 laps will be the distance here as we get ready to go with this one. And on the pole will be car number 38, the driver of the Hood Up Motorsports entry. It is Larry Townsend. Townsend will roll off in spot number right there. In spot number 1 outside of him will be car number 311. That is Justin Holt in that beautifully black and gold number 31. Starting on the inside of row number 2 will be car number 117. That is Jeremy Prey. Jeremy Prey will roll off in that position. Number 3 outside of him to his right elbow will be car number 51. He won the season opener at Cedar Lake. This is Jacob Lassiter. And shotgun on the field in car number 23, the Hood Up Motorsports driver. This is Matt George. So that is your 5-car starting lineup here as we get ready to go with our heat race number 4. Green flag going to come out off the corner. The pace truck down the way. Townsend jumps on the gas pedal, trying to get a good jump over Holt. Can he do it down to turn number 1? He's got a decent size lead, but here they come. Look at the 51 of Lassiter work in the middle of the racetrack, trying to find some grip. These drivers all watched that round there as the 23 of George touches the outside wall. He'll keep it pointed back in the right direction. But we've got a dog fight for your number 2 spot. Down the backstretch, Lassiter works the middle of the racetrack. He's trying to work around Holt. He will do so off of turn number 4, but Holt will challenge right back to the inside. Holt really working the bottom of the racetrack. The 51 of Lassiter found something in the middle. The upper groove is now, he is starting to chase down as we go on forward with our Sim Motion on-board camera with Lassiter trying to chase down your current race leader of Larry Townsend. You can hear the throttle work. These drivers are going to be magicians on that throttle. Bid for your race lead off the corner to Lassiter to the outside. New race leader into turn number 1. Townsend will get a little bit sideways up the racetrack. He'll go. New race leader is Jacob Lassiter, who started in that 4th position. Townsend going to fight right back to the inside, a little bit loose off the corner, unable to get the power down with 7 laps to go. Holt still runs there in that number 3 spot. 4th spot belongs to Jeremy Prey. And Matt George starting to make the bottom roll for himself as we get the 6 laps to go. The cross flags are up, halfway in, halfway to go in heat race number 4, presented by FEG PC. George runs there in that number 5 spot as they're all chasing this man, the 51 of Lassiter. Lassiter able to roll. There's a little bit of moisture right there. You can see the brownness in the track where Lassiter's right rear is. And he is able to just grip it and rip it off the corner, keeping that car very straight. That's going to be key here tonight as the track continues to widen out, is tightening your car up and keeping it as straight as possible. That way you can get the power down of these 358 late models. They work off the corner. 3 laps to go. Lassiter still showing away. Justin Holt trying to close in on Larry Townsend, and he is starting to chip away at it a little bit. That time up the racetrack, he'll lose about 4 car lengths down the backstretch. Off of turn number 2, they'll come. The Rabbit Ears are up. 2 laps to go for Lassiter as he leads this heat race number 4. Now Holt has really drawn into the backside of Townsend as they work through turns 1 and 2. We go look at the Autocraft Paint Bodyworks speed shot with the last lap, final trip around the speedway. Lassiter showing the way. Can he hold on one more set of corners? He will do as they'll come off turn number 4. Checkered flag is up. Lassiter will pick up heat race number 4. Larry Townsend will come home 2nd. Holt will come home 3rd. Prey and George will round out your top 5. Heat race number 5 getting ready to roll on up here. And we will get you tonight's starting grid in just one moment. Starting on the front row will be car number 00. That is John Darby. Darby will start on the outside of that row number 1. Then starting in row number outside of row number 1. That'll be car number 37 of Brandon Marlowe. Slated to roll off into spot number 3 will be the 69K of Keith Hackney. Hackney going to slot in spot number 3. And outside of him will be car number 6. That is Jeff Helton. Rolling off 5th in this heat race will be car number 427. And that will be James Ferguson. Ferguson slated to roll off there in spot number 5 as he will roll off here for heat race number 5. Green flag will be out next time by. Who will pick up this one? Darby looked pretty good in heat race number 1. Can he pick up the win here in heat race number 5? Also, will the 37 of Marlowe be able to will roll good on the outside? He had a little bit of trouble in heat race number 1, able to rebound nicely as we get ready to go with heat race number 5 presented by Sim Motion. Green flag is up and we are underway. Darby with a nice jump down here in the turn number 1. Helton will run the number 2. Hackney into the number 3 spot, and Ferguson back there in your 5th spot. He'll roll down the backstretch. The car not off the speed a little bit in these early goings. We expect to have him back in the fashion come feature time. Up front though, good battle starting to brew is now the 37 of Marlowe. He'll scrape the inside wall off of turn number 4 and he'll have the lead at the stripe. Darby going to work the outside of the racetrack. Can he make it stick off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch? He will do so. Marlowe got a little bit loose. Everybody doing a good job as Darby will roll in the middle of the racetrack. He'll lead lap number 3. They come up on the 427 of Ferguson. Ferguson rolling the outside of the racetrack. Meanwhile, Keith Hackney from the back. In the back, he's racing with a 6 of Helton, trying to make it around. He will do so as he tries to chase down the race leaders as we go on board with the Inside Sim Racing on board camera. Everybody doing a good job. And now Hackney starting to close in on him. You see there's yellow flag will fly. Ferguson upside down in turn number 4. That'll put us underneath our second yellow flag of the evening. These drivers doing a great job here tonight at Lanier. Well, we got a pause in the action. We want to thank everybody for tuning on into the Turn 3 Racing Network for the All-Star Racing Series. Presented by Autocraft Paint and Body Works here tonight from Georgia, where we're at the Lanier Raceplex. If you're new to the YouTube side, please hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. If you're not new to this, you know the spiel. Hit the thumbs up. Let these drivers know that you appreciate what they are doing for you out there on the racetrack week in and week out. Already week 5 after tonight. Well, we're going to be working the back half of the schedule, and it is going to be a good one. I'm really looking forward to the back side of this schedule for the All-Star Racing Series. And I can tell you that next week we will be at Fairbury for the first of the 2 Jewel Crown races. 75 laps of action, then they will travel to Charlotte. That will be the next 2 weeks coming on up here, but we're ready to go back. Green flag racing. Darby and Marlowe up on the front row. Pace truck down in the way. Darby will mash the gas, and here comes Hackney. Hackney going to try to work to the inside underneath the 00 of Darby, but look at the 37 of Marlowe. Marlowe work in the middle of the racetrack. 3-car dogfight. Here comes Helton making a 4-car dogfight off turn number 4. Darby trying to hold off the 69K of Hackney. Can he do it for 5 more circuits around the speedway? Hackney up the racetrack, almost got into the outside retaining wall, kept it off there. 3 wide off of turn number 4. Darby works the middle of the racetrack. He'll hold on to the race lead with 4 laps to go. Darby doing a great job as now Hackney rolls the outside of the racetrack with the momentum. He'll go back to the outside in turn number 3. He'll get in the outside wall, has to whoa up the car, and that allows Marlowe to work underneath him. Brandon Marlowe to the inside for second. Battle for second rages on as they work off turn number 4. Hackney with the momentum. He'll hold on to it. He'll cut it down to the inside. Can he make it stick? Darby rolls the outside of the racetrack. 2 laps to go. Can John Darby hold off last week's feature event winner of Hackney for tonight's heat race number 5, presented by Sim Motion? The white flag will fly off turn number 4, the final circuit around the racetrack as they work down here to turn number 1. Darby rolls the middle. Here comes Hackney on the outside down the backstretch for the final time. Can Hackney make it stick to the inside? He will try off of turn number 4. It'll be a drag race, but it'll be Darby picking up the heat race win. Hackney will come home second. Marlowe, Helton, and Ferguson will round out heat race number 5. And just like that, we are done with qualifications here tonight. They got a quick 2-minute warm-up session. And while they got that, we're going to step away. You're watching the All-Star Racing Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Welcome back to the Lanier Raceplex as practice for the final hot lap session before tonight's 50-lap main event is out on the racetrack with 15 drivers ready to sign in and do battle for you. Who's your money on out there, race fans? We saw that the number 18, our Braswell, was very quick in his qualification races. Keith Hackney is very fast here once again this week, as they all work around the racetrack, getting the last final adjustments on their race cars to see if they are able to make some adjustments to them. And we can tell you that in hot laps, it was Keith Hackney top of the board over Thomas Vickers. John Darby, Jacob Lassiter, and Brandon Marlowe was your top 5 times in practice. And just like that, it is time to go feature events. We got a fan for Tyler Carter out there. He's going to say Tyler Carter's got this one in the bag. He would become our 5th different winner of the season if that were to happen. Let's take a look here at your starting lineup presented by Autograph Paint and Bodyworks for tonight's feature event. Starting up on the front row, out of car number 18, the driver hails from Marion, Arkansas, the Braswell Trucking O.H. Hendricks Racing Sheet Metal. Car number 18, this is James Braswell. Starting on the outside of the front row is out of Dresden, Tennessee, in the Max Green Milner Media and Design. Car number 51, this is Jacob Lassiter. John Darby will roll off in spot number 3, the driver out of Drummond's, Tennessee, in the Hood Up Rocket JDM Designs entry. And starting to his outside, car number 21, that is Kyle Vandergriff. Vandergriff going to slot off in spot number 4. Larry Townsend will roll off 5th. Outside of him will be the 69 of Keith Hackney. 7th starting spot will be Thomas Vickers. Outside of him will be the 311 of Justin Holt. 9th starting spot will be Brandon Marlowe, and Tyler Carter will round out your top 10. Starting in the 11th position will be car number 117. That's Jeremy Prey. Outside of him will be car number 6 of Jeff Helton. Blake Brown will slot off in spot number 13. Matt George and James Ferguson rounding out your 15-car starting field here tonight. Final trip down the back stretch. Who is it going to be here tonight? Matt George chiming in before he strapped into this late model said there's only one way to go, And that is up. Green flag getting ready to come out here for tonight's 50-lap feature event. It is up, and we are underway here tonight. Braswell going to jump out to the race lead over to 51 of Lassiter. Lassiter works the outside. 3 wide for your race lead. And down to the turn number 1. Darby dives it down low. He'll jab the brakes and able to get him those good outlaw brakes. Working on these late models. Braswell's going to lead lap number 1. Vandergriff working the outside of the racetrack around Larry Townsend. All these 5 cars underneath the blanket. 1 driver in the outside wall. That was Vickers. As you see the cone go flying, these drivers are searching for the moisture. Change for your race lead down the backstretch. It'll be the 51 at Lassiter working the outside of the racetrack as they work underneath the 427 of Ferguson. Down to the inside, the 18 of Braswell. 3 wide for your race lead. Maybe a little bit of contact that time as they work down here to turn number 3. Braswell really working the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get the power down as he's got the 0-0, but Lassiter's going to lead at the line. Already 5 laps into the books. This one is going to be a barn burner at the top of this one. Hackney had to go to the back of the field for unapproved adjustments. So he is working his way up through the field. He'll work right behind the number 31 of Holt. That is going to be the battle for the 8th position. Meanwhile, up at the front, they are still 2 by 2. Did someone tell these guys they are not under pace laps? As they are putting on one heck of a show as they work down the backstretch. Trouble down in turn number 1 and 2. Jeff Helton is up against the outside wall. I believe there's other cars involved. Yellow flag, number 1 coming on out here as we are slowed for the first time on lap number 6. Let's take a look. Justin Holt was involved with this accident. Let's take a look and see what happened. Through the 311, you see him working with a Hackney down to the middle of the racetrack. Right there, Bray in front of him as well. They come off the corner. Oh, had the check up for the 427 of Ferguson. And Hackney nowhere to go. And everybody was scrambling for real estate. Let's go on board with Justin Holt. I heard him get out of the gas. Whoops, around he will go. No harm, no foul. Just one of those things to navigate in the lap traffic and caught him at the wrong spot. So we restack them, we'll line them up, and we'll get ready to go back green flag racing. This time off turn number 4, the All-Star Racing Series. Back underway, Lassiter jumps on the gas. Working the outside of the racetrack down here in turn number 1. Lassiter doing a great job. Look at Kath Hackney working the outside around the 117 of Prey. Now we'll dive into the inside of Marlowe as Braswell going to strangle the lead back as he leads lap number 8. Seesaw battle up at the top of this one. Braswell really working the bottom of the racetrack well right now. He's gotten by the 51 of Lassiter. Lassiter works the outside of the racetrack. Side by side as they dig down in the turn number 1. And John Darby looking very strong here tonight in the early stages of this 50-lap main event. Rolling the bottom of the racetrack. They're going to catch the 427 of Ferguson one more time off the corner. Everybody was able to get by the 427. 3 wide now for their race lead down in the turn number 1. Or 3 and 4, excuse me. They come off turn number 4. Darby works the bottom of the racetrack. Lassiter starting to get that wound up on the outside of the speedway. And here comes Kyle Vandergriff. Vandergriff up to the 4th spot. And Keith Hackney now to 5th. Hackney started back in spot number 15 and has already found himself inside the top 15 as they work around the speedway. Yellow flag is coming out for the 427 of Ferguson. The yellow flag will come out in Braswell is your race leader. It's been a tough night for the driver of the 427 of Ferguson, and well, down on pit road they will go. Lassiter having some issues. Don't see him on the racetrack. He was your second place driver. So that'll move the number 4, the 00 of Darby up to the front row on this restart if Lassiter does not make it back. Some connections issues for the driver out of Tennessee. Field's starting to get doubled back up. It'll be the 18 JR up on the front row. Outside of him will be car number 21 of Kyle Vandergriff. So teammates on the front row. Darby will be in spot number 2. Green flag is up and we are back underway. Tough break for the driver, the 51 of Lassiter. Down here in the turn number 3 and 4 they come for the first time back under green flag off of turn number 4, right in your seat. Don't spill your popcorn, folks. Field doing a good job side by side back here for spot number 2. That's Vandergriff trying to work underneath around the 00 of Darby. He will do so for the time being. 38 of Larry Townsend. He's worked the outside of the speedway. He started 5th, currently is 5th as he fights off the advances of the 117 of Prey. Prey that really jump on the binders. As now Townsend will go to the inside underneath Hackney. Hackney rolling the outside of the racetrack. That's the battle for your 4th spot as they work down in the turn number 3. Townsend works the bottom of the racetrack. The 3069K, last week's feature event winner, ripping the lip around the Lanier Raceplex. Brandon Marlowe starting to work his way up from the back of the pack as well. He'll be up 3 spots as he completes the pass of the 117 of Prey. They still duke it up, but up at the front, things are tightening up here. 3-car battle for your race lead, and it'll be 4 here in a moment. Here comes Hackney. Hackney's got the 69K wound up, but here comes Vandergriff. Vandergriff rolling the middle of the racetrack, hitting that moisture just enough there off of turn number 2. He'll draw even with your 18 of Braswell. Braswell doing a good job keeping that car straight as can be, but at the line, Vandergriff is going to get credited for leading lap number 20. Side by side, and Darby now trying to stick the nose down low. Can he make it stick? Not that time in the turn number 3, and here comes Hackney. Hackney's going to make it a 4-car battle down the front stretch. Side by side for your race lead as they will dig tooth and claw off of turn number 2 and down the back stretch. The battle of the white and pink cars up at the front of this one. Darby doing a good job running the third spot. Braswell trying to fight off his teammate. Vandergriff trying to go to victory lane for the first time this season. Almost to the halfway point, and they've got the 69 of Hackney working the outside of the racetrack. Vandergriff still leading it down in the turn number 3, but they are seesawing back and forth. That time the 18 of Braswell a little bit tight in the center of the racetrack. That's going to give the sole possession to your race lead to the 21 of Vandergriff. Vandergriff to your point now. Darby's going to start searching around behind the 18 of Braswell. He goes in high, trying to cut down low, get in that moisture to get some momentum built up down the front stretch. Maybe look high above here from the Autocraft Paint and Body Works blimp cam. You can see your top 4 working through turns 3 and 4, almost 3 wide that time. Vandergriff still working the outside of the racetrack, doing a great job. Just past the halfway point, this is how your field runs. Vandergriff is first, Braswell is second, Darby, Hackney, and Townsend your top 5. One spot outside of the top 5 is the 117 of Prey. Marlowe runs in 7th. Justin Holt is 4th, or 8th spot. Matt George tied for the hard charge of the race. He's up 5 positions into the 9th position. Vickers, Carter, Brown, Helton, Lassiter, and Ferguson all out of the race so here tonight with 22 laps to go. Now Vandergrift starting to show an advantage now. 5 car lengths over the 18 of Braswell. Braswell going to work underneath him, though. A little bit of a miscue for the 21 of Vandergrift. That opens the door wide open for the 18 of Braswell. Braswell working the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes John Darby. Can he make it to victory lane and become our 5th different winner of the season? Braswell trying to be the first to repeat. Came in as your current points leader and now looking to come out of here with a bigger advantage. Vandergrift rolling in the middle of the racetrack, gets a good bite down the backstretch. Drag race in the turn number 3. Darby trying to close in now. He'll take a peek to the inside. Can Darby make a move on Braswell? Keith Hackney right there ready to pounce if something were to happen between your top 3. Kind of just sitting back there. Darby trying to make a move. Had to check up and that allows Hackney to get by. Here comes Keith Hackney, rolling the middle of the racetrack. He's moved up to 3rd, but Darby not done yet. He'll pounce back to the inside. Down in the turn number 3 they come. 17 laps to go. Make it 16 at the line. Is now Hackney trying to make it to 2nd. Everybody doing a great job working the speedway. Very tough, difficult track conditions. When the track gets this slicked off, you got to be very good on the throttle. And right now, the 21 of Vandergrift is doing the job up at the front of this one. Darby working down to the inside once again of Braswell. Hackney up to the outside. He tried working the outside of the racetrack. He'll still hold on to 3rd, but Darby is there. Braswell works the bottom of the racetrack. 4-car battle up at the front of this one. Great battles all the way around, but we're going to keep our eyes peeled right here to this battle off of turn number 4. Down the front stretch they come. It'll be Vandergrift still showing away. That time Hackney was into your number 2 spot. Keith Hackney working the outside of the racetrack down here to turn number 3 and 4. Now he'll slide up. He'll take over sole possession of that number 2 spot. Can Vandergrift hold on for 12 more laps? Now Vandergrift's going to go to the inside. He'll slide up the racetrack off the turn number 2. In the turn number 3, here comes Hackney. He'll draw a beat to the backside of the 21 of Vandergrift. 11 laps to go. Can Vandergrift hold off the 69K of Hackney? Hackney could become our first repeat winner of the season in just his 2nd start of the year. 10 laps to go. They get the high fives ×2 by Chief Starter Barney. As they work off a turn number 2 down the backstretch. Hackney with a head of steam. He'll cut it to the inside. Slide job starting to come. Not going to be able to do it, but he'll have the port. It's still by Vandergrift. Now Hackney down to the inside, side by side for your race lead off turn number 2. Vandergrift with the momentum. Can he pin the 69K down low? He would lap traffic moving in front of them. 8 to go. Will lap traffic come into play? The first one that they're going to come in touch with is the 20 of Tyler Carter, and he's got the 6 of Helton. 2 wide in front of your race leaders. Helton up the racetrack. He'll hold it on to it. We'll still green, but Helton down 1 lap. Now Vandergrift will work around the outside of the 20 of Carter, but here comes the 69K, and John Darby working the bottom of the racetrack as these two duke it out. It's a 3-way battle for your race lead. 6 to go. Who's it gonna be? Vandergrift trying to win the first time this season. Darby down to the inside. Here comes John Darby working the bottom of the racetrack. Says, you guys are going to run the outside. I will go to the bottom. Now Vandergrift will go down to the inside underneath the number 20 of Blake Brown. Contact between your race leader and Brown. 3 wide for your race lead. Hackney down to the inside. He'll slide up across the racetrack in front of the 21 of Vandergrift. Here comes Darby. 4 to go. 3 wide once again. The 21 of Vandergrift working the bottom of the racetrack. John Darby to the point. Darby down low, working the very bottom of the speedway. Hackney works the upside of the speedway. Off the corner, it'll be 3 to go. It'll be the number 00 of Darby. This one's going to be a photo finish. Get your cameras ready, folks. Darby showing the way down in the turn number 3. This time by 2 laps to go for John Darby. Darby, your new race leader. Hackney works the outside of the racetrack. Can he get one more fight out of the 69K? In the turn number 3, Darby working the bottom of the racetrack as your second place as battle. White flag is out. John Darby, one last third mile to get around through 1 and 2 on the bottom. Can he hold? Here comes the 69K of Hackney. Hackney brushes the outside wall. That might have done him in. Through turns 3 and 4. And off of turn 4, your 5th different winner. John Darby will go to victory lane. Hackney will come home second. Vandergrift third. Raswell fourth. And Larry Townsend will round out your top 5 here after 50 laps of racing. John Darby picking up the win as the fireworks are flying in the sky. What a great race that was as John Darby rolls down here on the front, down the back stretch. He will go across the scales and we will get into our Autocraft Paint and Bodyworks post-race show here at Lanier in just a moment, where John Darby has just become your 5th different winner of the season, holding off Keith Hackney and Kyle Vandergrift. We'll be right back here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. You're watching the All-Star Racing Series.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
And welcome back here to the Lanier Raceplex in Georgia, where the All-Star Racing Series round number 5 has just concluded here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, and we are ready to go into our Autocraft Paint and Bodyworks post-race show. And the man of the hour down here on the front stretch will be car number 00, and that will be the driver of the Beard Graphics. Number 00 of John Darby, and John just climbing out of the car, and man, you had to work for that one, but you got that bottom rolling really late in this feature event. How'd you make it happen and to get around last week's winner and Kyle Vandergrift? Very strong competitors here tonight.
Man, first I just got to thank CFM, Majulis and Say Setup Shop. They're building some real good sets over there. I got lucky, got one, and after that, it was just all throttle control, man.
Yeah, talk about these racetrack conditions here tonight. We saw very tacky in the heat races, and then it got a little bit slicked off, and then in the feature, very slicked off. We saw guys running the extreme outside, the middle, and down in the bottom, where you ended up finding the line for this Chevrolet. But how'd you make that all possible? And just How difficult was it out there? You have to really watch your gas pedal so you're not lighting up these Hoosier Racing tires.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you drove it in a foot too deep and hit that slick wrong and you were just sliding up the track, you just had to half throttle around the track just about and let it roll through the corners.
Well, you did a great job there. Talk us through your race. We saw you up towards the front early, then you kind of fell back into the almost the back half of the top 5, and then coming on late, you just rolled the bottom, came out of really nowhere, and you were fast all night long here with this 00.
Yeah, I was just rolling the bottom, trying to save everything behind Braswell for the first 14, 15 laps, and then I seen Kyle jump up to the middle, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna get around Braswell, this would be my chance. And we hit some lap traffic, and I went to the middle, got around him, and then we hit more lap traffic, and that's when I got around Kyle, and Hackney followed me through there, and we just side by side for the last couple of laps. It was a great race tonight.
Talk about, we saw tonight where lap traffic did come into play. You seemed to catch them in the right spots a little bit earlier. We had one yellow flag where lap traffic kind of bottlenecked everybody up. Were you a little bit worried about that in the closing stages?
Yes and no. I mean, we got a good group of guys here, and they're real respectful, and they know what to do when the leaders come up around them, and they held their line. That's all we could ask for, and it really didn't affect much, I don't believe.
No, it was a great night of racing as we come back to live pictures of this 00 sitting down here on the front stretch. First of all, congratulations on the first win of the season, but you become our 5th different winner. It just shows how competitive this series is with the next couple of races coming up. Next week is our first Crown Jewel race at Fairbury. How is the outlook for you in this 00 team next week?
To be honest with you, I'm not real sure. We haven't done a lot of testing over there. So this week, Hood Up Motorsports will be putting in some work, getting a setup ready for there, and try to have some good results like we did tonight. I mean, we got 2 cars in the top 5. Can't complain there.
Definitely cannot. But before we let you go and roll through that room of doom, who makes this all possible for this 00? And by the way, I love the new paint scheme.
Oh, thank you. I got to thank JDM Designs for that. All the guys over at Hood Up Motorsports, and Blake Majulis and Evan Say over at Majulis Say Setup Shop.
Well, congratulations on picking up the win. We'll see you next week at Fairbury for the first Crown Jewel of the night of the season. Congratulations once again, John. We'll see you next week.
All right, thank you, sir.
That's tonight's feature event winner, the 00 of John Darby. And just like that, we will move on into our number 2 position, and that'll be the number 69K. We saw him in Victory Lane 1 week ago. And well, he's going to come up 1 spot shy. And Keith, you had that outside roll, and you're really the only driver working the outside, up scraping the paint off the concrete, but just come up 1 spot shy here tonight.
Yeah, man, I just we talked earlier today, and I told him I'll just start in the rear tonight. I had to drop some I rating today, so I was able to run, and I told him in the deal I'll just start in the rear. And in those heat races, I was just testing some different things. I didn't feel too good, so I just went back to Old Faithful for the feature, and it was rolling. There at the beginning, I was just pretty much just trying to stay on the bottom, just trying to pass some cars here and there. And then once I got up to the top 5, top 4, I rode around the bottom with everybody else or in the middle, and I was like, you know what, I got to go somewhere else, because I mean, obviously you're not going to pass anybody just riding behind them. So I experimented with the top side in 1 and 2, which was absolutely rolling. And 3 and 4, I couldn't run it. It was just, there was nothing there. So I found a groove right in the middle, and my car had so much bite coming off. So I was like, well, maybe if I can just put a few laps together, I can start making some leadway, which initially I did. So I grabbed the lead late there because of that lap car. Got in front of Kyle, and I went into the corner. What was it? Maybe 2 laps or something. And I just got a little free, and Darby was able to get under me. But hey man, that was a hell of a race from the top 3 or 4, and I couldn't be more pleased to come from the rear to where I finished.
Yeah, talk about the racing out coming through the field, and even we had the one yellow flag here early in this feature event, so really a long green flag run to finish this one out. How much do you have to take care of your stuff? And then the track changed quite a bit from even from the end of practice or the green flag dropping of this feature event to the end here. We see it really slicking up, and we saw a little bit of moisture on the exit in that middle. Were you surprised that Darby was able to get such a good run on the bottom like he was?
I mean, kinda. But when it gets slick like that, if you just got good throttle control, I mean, you can make it work on the bottom, but you got to be real consistent. And which he was. Just me, like I said, I was just banging the boards in 1 and 2. I was doing everything I could just to get up some momentum. Obviously, from last week, I love running the top side. It don't matter where we're at. But yeah, the track changed a whole lot. I think I turned, I think an 8 in warm up. I was the quickest in warm ups, and I knew then I had a good piece. Usually, like for these races like this, I'll set up my car for late in the race because I mean that's where the races are won. So, the track changed a ton. We was good, and just come up a little bit short.
A little bit short, but nonetheless, you have a great night here tonight at Lanier. You're going to come out of here picking up quite a bit of points. Is week number 2 for you, so you're a little bit behind the 8 ball, but overall, a very good outing for you once again. Who makes it all possible for you in the 69K team?
Man, I got to give a shout out to Team No Love. We're a very stout team and trying to get it back everything switched over into late models. Rocket Racing Setups, man, they have just outdid themselves, and it don't matter what race we get in, we're going to be up front. Hill Gorge Consulting, Custom Cabinets by Keith, Apollo Designs, Small Change Designs, 1-3 Designs, just everybody behind the scenes, man. We're making money moves, and it's showing. And thanks for him for broadcasting this, and you for putting it on, buddy.
Well, thank you very much here. That is tonight's second place runner. Up, it'll be Keith Hackney in car number 69K. Rounding out your top 3, well, this driver was Never Lift Vandergriff, and we'll have to find the nickname to that, but Kyle, and you ran a great race back there all race long. You started in that 4th position. You never fell inside the top 5, but you just come up a little bit short. You got in the lap traffic and slight contact between yourself and the 28. Is that what really cost you the feature event win here?
Yeah, that's what did it. I'm looking at the replay right now, and man, I just hit him with like a pixel of my car, but that's enough to do it, because the metal doesn't bend. But yeah, man, the car was great all night. It was a hell of a race. Everyone ran real clean. My buddy Skeet started first. He ran it good. He fell back some, but I was just working that middle all night, and it ended up working. But it sucks we didn't get the win, but I'm glad to be on the podium for once,
We talked to the Braswell a few weeks ago, and it seems like this team, the Mid-South Mafia, really starting to gain some momentum over the last few weeks, like hitting on some things underneath these race cars, and it's really showing out. You guys had a very stout field here tonight, running the top 2 in the 4th heat race, I believe it was, where you guys were battling for the heat race win. So you guys are making definitely grounds. I know you last week talking, the Braswell said you felt a little bit behind the schedule with everybody else coming, but last few weeks really starting to hit on something.
Oh yeah, we've been in the practice sessions a lot longer, and during the weeks we've been getting on pretty much every night and doing a practice race, and we'll get Darby and a bunch of these guys in there, and we'll all just get in there and tweak, and we're all working together to get faster, and it's starting to really show. So that's really encouraging.
Talking about your race car, you're able to run that middle and the bottom very well here tonight. Is that where you kind of set up there? We saw a little bit of moisture still left in that middle to upper groove, not up by the fence, but you're able to run that really well and keep that car square. Was that the key to you getting to the front there and leading all those laps?
I think it was, Al. If you go back to the start of the race, I ran the middle the whole time, and I could tell it was slowly starting to come in, so I just stayed with it. And like you said, I just kept searching for that little bit of moisture and trying to keep it real smooth and easy on the gas, because one wrong turn or one wrong misthrottle and you're in the fence here.
Definitely is. And this track provided some great racing. You guys were 2 and 3 wide for that race lead all night long, and it provided some great action for everybody tuning on in here tonight. And you'll go back and watch it, I am sure. But man, what a great night for you to come home in third. You got a lot of points coming out of here, so we're interested to see how the points will shake out after tonight's racing events. Looking at the second half of the season, we're going to head to Fairbury next week for the First Crown Jewel race. 75 laps is a very long time around Fairbury. What's the outlook for that racetrack? And we're expecting some more of the great short track action we've seen the last couple weeks.
Man, I'm real excited to be at Fairbury. I race at a real short bull ring in real life, so I like them shorter tracks on here, and so does the rest of the team. But 75 laps is really going to tear the track away, so we'll have to get in there and, I don't know, figure out how to be smooth on the slick stuff, because it's going to be hard and it's going to be a lot tighter racing than it was here at that small track.
Well, we want to take in, before we let you roll on out here, how to make this, who makes this all possible for you here tonight and the Turn 3 Racing Network and the All-Star Racing Series.
I want to thank my dog, Missy. She's always my #1 supporter here with me. I want to thank the whole Mid-South Mafia team, Tyler, James, along with Blake Brown, John Darby, Larry Townsend, and Matt George for helping us tweak it in and get right. I want to thank all my fans and B. Moss, Colton, Big Blake, P. White, and I want to thank you for hosting the broadcast because, man, you do one hell of a job. Like, I'm happy to have you on doing our races. We're just trying to make the racing better for you.
I appreciate the kind words here. Well, congratulations on third. We'll see you one week from tonight. Hopefully, we can see you up 2 more spots and park this 21 in Victory Lane and become our 6th different winner.
Oh, yes, sir. I hope I get to talk to you again soon.
That is tonight's third place runner, the number 21 of Kyle Vandergriff. Will round out the podium. Let's take a look at your results here tonight real quick. At the end of this one, it was John Darby picking up his first win of the season, becoming our 5th different winner of the All-Star Racing Series presented by Autocraft Paint and Body Works. Keith Hackney will come home 2nd. Kyle Vandergriff will come home 3rd. James Braswell and Larry Townsend rounding out your top 5. Jeremy Prey will come home 6th. 7th spot will go to Brandon Marlowe. Justin Holt 9th. Thomas Vickers rounding out that 9th spot, and rounding out your top 10 will be Matt George, who comes up shy for being the hard charger of the race by 1 spot as Jeremy Prey gets that, moving up 5 spots here tonight. The 11th spot went to Blake Brown. Tyler Carter in 12th. 13th will go to Jeff Helton. Jacob Lassiter out early with electrical issues on that number 51, and James Ferguson rounding out your running order here tonight. Well, that will do a wrap here for the All-Star Racing Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network, and it is always being brought to you by Autocraft Paint and Body Works. For all your auto bodywork needs, it's Autocraft in Arkansas. Look them up at autobodyworksnea.com. ABR Setup Shop. If you are in the market for a new setup, or get yourself rolling with the open setups here on the iRacing, ABRSetupShops.com, proud supporter of the All-Star Racing Series. JDM Designs. You saw how good John Darby's car looked in the Victory Lane. Make your car look just as good with ordering a design from JDM Designs. FEG PC, in the market for a new computer. Make sure you look them up. They are a proud supporter of the All-Star Racing Series and the PC supplier of the All-Star Racing Series. Sim Motion. If you are in need of a new rig or anything involved with all of sim racing or in flight sims, it is Sim Motion. They can get you hooked up. Check them out online at us.sim-motion.com. And Inside Sim Racing. Find out more information about them at www.isrtv.com. Well, that will do it for me. As always, my name is Upstate Al, and we're proud to bring you all tonight's racing action here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We will see you next week as we go to the high banks of Fairbury in Illinois. Until then, everybody keep the wheels down, and we'll see you at the races.